Hey everyone, it's Jonathan here, founder of Driving Academy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to handle adverse weather conditions as a professional driver. Because regardless, you're going to have to handle it because you cannot control Mother Nature. Mother Nature is going to control you. But if you're a professional, you're going to handle a little bit different than a novice. And that's our goal here, to make sure you get yourself on the road to freedom with your CDL license. So we want to make sure that you're a professional. If you want to get CDL license and you don't have one yet, before I actually get into the content, just do yourself a favor. Go to our website, cdldrivingacademy.com. Fill out the form there. One of our team members are going to be giving you a call and helping you out throughout this entire CDL process itself. So by the time you are driving a truck and you have adverse weather conditions, this can actually apply to you. If you have your CDL license already, let's buckle up and let's get going. So the first thing you should actually do is understand what weather conditions you're going to be dealing with. So checking the weather is super important. I have an uncle of mine who actually transports stuff all across the country. And what winds up happening is in one day he can actually have all 4 seasons, because he can start off his day in Florida, go all the way up to like South Dakota or something like that, and all of a sudden it's hot to freezing cold and everything else in between. So understanding what the weather is will actually help you plan a lot better. The next thing that you're going to be doing, whether the weather is good or bad, is going to be make sure that your truck is inspected correctly, right? And the more extreme the weather conditions, the more important it is that you have to inspect your truck, because the small little things can get very big the worse the weather gets, especially in the freezing cold. And then the next good thing to have at all times is just going to be an emergency kit. Now, a lot of people hear that, but they don't really know what to put inside of an emergency kit. So things that you're going to need is going to be things like flashlights, extra batteries, blankets, food, maybe that space food that you can just put water in that never expires, right? Some water. Make sure that you have first aid supplies, and if you're going to be going to snow conditions, tire chains might be a good option for you. So now let's talk about the weather itself. There's really only 3 weather conditions that can really mess up your day as a truck driver. Weather condition number 1 is going to be rain. Weather condition number 2 is going to be snow. Weather condition number 3 is going to be fog. Now, once you understand how to master those 3 weather conditions, you are going to be a pro. So just listen in. So when it comes to rain, the first thing that you have to understand about rain, when you read the CDL manual, it says, first thing first, make sure you put your wipers on and make sure the headlights are actually on too. Now, depending on the situation, headlights are probably preferred itself. You just don't want to be blinding people in front of you. The other thing that you have to understand is, according to the CDL manual, you're going to want to make sure that you're reducing your speed by 1/3 of the total amount, right? So just to keep the number simple, if the speed limit's 100 miles per hour, 1/3 is 33% of that. So make sure that you are reducing your speed by 33% or 33 miles an hour if it is 100 miles an hour, right? And what that's actually going to do is it's actually going to increase your following distance because you're going to be going slower. The main reason why you want to reduce your speed in the rain is because these trucks are built to carry very heavy things, very long distances, and they're not really going to stop that fast. When you put water in between your tires and the road itself, it's going to have even less traction, which means it's going to be harder to stop. So when it comes to the rain, make sure you put on your wipers, make sure you put on the headlights, reduce your speed, and increase following distance. Super, super important there. Now let's talk about the snow. Snow is going to be something that is very nice to look at, but can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Same type of thing. Make sure the wipers are on, except when it comes to the headlights, make sure it's low beams. You don't want to be using high beams in snow because that light can bounce back and kind of blind you. And then the other thing is going to be reduce your speed by half, which means if the mile per hour there is 50 miles an hour, you're going to want to go all the way down to 25. This is all according to the CDL manual itself. And of course, increase your following distance. If you think it was hard to stop a 80,000 pound vehicle in water, imagine how hard it is going to stop in snow and ice. Much more difficult, and it's not an easy thing to do. The other thing that you want to understand is you want to kind of avoid anything that's not hard ground when it comes to rain or snow, because even though these things are pretty big, they work on momentum and they don't have that good of a force when you're fully loaded and all of a sudden you get stuck in kind of like a snow mound or something like that, because now you're going to need a tow truck to get your stuff out. Like that force of moving forward takes a lot of momentum to get something from being unstuck. So keep the whole thing going and get going that way, right? And then the last weather condition that we talked about is going to be fog. So when it comes to fog, you can't really see anything. Now there's different levels of fog, just like there's different levels of snow and rain and all that stuff. So make sure that you understand what is safe for you. If you're going super slow, in rain, fog, or snow itself, one thing that you should be doing is putting on your four-way flashers so the vehicles behind you know exactly what's going on and you're going below the speed limit to make sure everyone's communicated safely. One thing in the fog is, one, never use your high beams because you can actually blind yourself. You're not going to be able to see as well as your low beams. And then two, every kind of couple miles or so, just honk your horn, tap your horn so people know exactly where you are. The main thing with fog, make sure you're always looking for brake lights in front of you because all of a sudden you can see nothing and boom, it's too late to even stop. So make sure you reduce your speed, and you can't really see your following distance if it's that thick, but make sure you put on your four-way flashers. Super, super, super important. But the main thing to actually understand when it comes to any adverse weather conditions is that you are the captain of the ship in this case. You are the driver, you are the one responsible. So at the end of the day, make sure you're keeping yourself informed, seeing how weather is going to be changing, make sure you plan accordingly, and ultimately understand that it is your job to keep yourself safe first of all, make sure the people around you are safe and the cargo is safe that you're transporting. Which means if you feel like it is way too dangerous, just pull over to the side or get yourself onto a safe environment where no one's going to hit you and everything is under control. The other thing that you want to make sure is that you're always informing any higher up. So for instance, if you work with a dispatch or anything like that, communicate with them exactly what your plan is and they can kind of guide you through. So if you follow all of these tips that we just gave you, make sure you give us a like, a thumbs up. If you have any extra tips, make sure you put in the comments below. We'd love to know more about people who have different insights, and make sure that you keep yourself on the road to freedom. You cannot be free if you get into accidents and you got all these bills, or even worse, you're gonna be dead. If you want to get your CDL license, come to CDL Driving Academy, the best CDL school in the entire country. Check out our website, cdldrivingacademy.com. And if you have adverse weather conditions, make sure you paid attention to this video because it can save your life. Thanks, have a great day. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. It's really going to help us out. Click on that button. And if you want to continue yourself on your road to freedom, here's more videos to watch. There's endless amounts. Hopefully we get to see each other one day very soon. Thanks.